तो देखिए जो टॉपिक्स आज कवर करने वाले हैं, टॉपिक्स वी आर गोइंग टू कवर टुडे, these topics are such topics which should have been covered in detail actually, right? But there is a dependency. The complex topics always come at the last. Once you are understood with or clear with the basic understanding of programming, then only you can go with the complex topic. I also tried to create the teaching content for all those topics, but the thing is that the time was very short, and when I tried to create those contents were not as good because you know animations and everything, adding everything was difficult. So I tried to create a lot of content, but ultimately that didn't work out properly because I needed some 1 week of time for that. So what I did is I have created a proper note, try to make it as simple as possible to understand. Okay, and I will find some alternate way to show you the flow, the animation part that I used to show you in those content, that I will try to show you in other way on code blocks only. So you will learn that also, so you can also try that way in your home. Okay, so let's begin with today's topic. These topics are important, some are easy, some are complex. We will cover to the extent that if you want to build more understanding on them, you will be in a position to build it. Okay, so the first topic is there is something called as global variable in C, and there is something called as local variable in C, right? So the difference between global variable and local variable, that's one topic that we have not covered yet, right? It's an easy topic. Okay, so I start with it. So just look at the notes. Let me just I think it is readable. Variables in C can be classified by where they are declared, right? So the variables in C, they are classified by the position where they are declared in program, right? That means, let me just go further and a bit and show you. See here in this program, right? Main method is there, right? Then show method is there, right? If I want to declare a variable in show method, let me say int x, right? Or let me x is equal to 7 for example, right? So it should be small letters, right? So this int x is defined within the function show, right? This is defined within the function show. So this is called as function local variable. It's a local variable. Function is also sometimes called as method. So function local or method local variable. Okay, what does this mean? The visibility of this variable x starts from the starting point of the body of the show function till here, right? Correct. There is another function main. If I want to access x variable, which is defined in show, in the main method, for example, let me say x is equal to 12, this will give me compilation error because the visibility of x is within the function that starts from here till here, from this place till this place, right? This is the place where it is declared, right? So that is called as the visibility or scope. Both terms are used. So the scope of x is scope or visibility of मेथड कहो या फंक्शन कहो, लोकल वेरिएबल x is within the limits of the function itself and not beyond. ठीक है? Got the idea, Henry? Is it okay? If I try to access this x, I have declared here, right? Declared as well as defined, right? Declared means int x is this part is declaration. When I put equal to 7, that is I'm giving it a value. I'm defining a value for it, right? So declaration and definition both are done here. Now if I want to define again in another function, which is the main function, or some other function, add function, right? So here I will get a compilation error. It will say that the variable x is not recognized. I am not able to find whatever words it may use depending upon the compiler, right? And this is applicable for all languages. Okay? Because the visibility or the scope of x was inside the limits of the method, start of the curly braces and end of the curly braces, right? That was its visibility. Now here it is no more recognized. If I say here as like int x, then what will happen? It's a separate declaration inside the scope of the main method. So this x is different, that x was different. And at a time only one method will be in execution, right? So if the main is in execution, this is a different variable. If show is in execution, that is a different variable. This variable had a scope of main starting from the opening body to the closing body of it, right? If in between it enters into the show and there it is going to find, like show is being called here, right? Show method is being called from the main method, right? So it will enter to the show method. Here also it will encounter int x is equal to 7, but that is a different variable, very much specific and local to the show method. Okay? When it enters the show method, it will forget the x variable which is declared in the main method. That is a separate thing. Okay? It's not duplication. It's a separate thing, right? Getting the idea? Now suppose if I declared a block, if let's say, let me cut this line here and move it here. So the variable x is declared before the if block, right? If x double equal to 7, for example, I'm checking the condition, right? Then I will use the curly braces here for if block, end of the curly braces, and let me say boolean, or not boolean, let me say int y is equal to 1. 1 means true, right? Int 1 means, int y means true. And then I will say printf printf double quotation x double equal to 7 is percentage d, right? Comma y. What will happen? What will be the output? X double equal to 7 is 1. That means true. Let's say 1 means true and 0 means false. Okay? So it is true. Now let's close the if block. If block has got two statements, right? Right. Now let me say y is equal to 10, small y. What will happen? Hmm? Condition is true, y is 1, but after coming to, okay, let me say not 10, let me say 0 itself, okay? Because we are talking in terms of true and false, right? So y is 0. What will happen now? Huh? Say loud. Why 1? Is not? It will not set. But why? If I say printf, same statement, and then I print the value of y, then now let me say the statement after this. Again, I am repeating this statement. Control C, and here I am pasting it here, and the y is being printed. This is a string, right? X double equal to 7 is a string, right? And percentage d is replaced by y. This is what happens. So what will be the output here? Here it is x string will be printed. X double equal to 7 is 1. That means true, right? What will be printed here? बेटा तेज बोलो थोड़ा सा. Right, right. प्रोग्राम रन नहीं करेगा मतलब कंपाइलेशन एरर आएगी, right? It will never reach to the slide itself. Program will never run because this y, although it's declared within the which method? Within the show method. This y is declared within the show method. But in show also it has been declared in this block, if block, right? If block. Now if it is declared in a block, the scope is further reduced. Now it will be visible within the block itself. यहाँ से लेकर के it will come, it will be visible till here only. ठीक है? I can say int y, that will be redeclaration. The scope is gone, the variable is forgotten, I have redeclared the variable again. But if I have not redeclared, then that means y is equal to 0 means I am referring to the same y which is declared here. And because it is declared in the block, outside the block its visibility is gone. And I cannot assign it value. So I will get a compilation error. Okay? Provided we would have left everything as it is and just chosen to declare this variable before the if block, let's say here, then things would have changed. Now its visibility is in the whole function. Okay? In the whole function after it is declared, after this line, right? So it will be visible under the block, it will be visible after the block. Okay? Getting the idea? So we have one variable which we call as function or method local variable that has the visibility of the whole body of the function. The other variable is the block level variable. If it is declared in the block itself, then its visibility will be limited to the block itself or its scope will be limited to the block itself. ये try करके आप देखिएगा, ठीक है? You just try this, ठीक है? Got the idea? Let me say I am running a loop for int I is equal to 0, I is less than 10, I plus plus, and then within the body I am using I, right? For some purpose, say printing the array index. When the loop exits, will I be having the access of I or not? Will I have the access of I or not after the for loop? No, because the declaration is within the three conditions of the for loop itself. For bracket start int I is equal to 0. So it's not I is equal to 0, int I is equal to 0. Right? So the initialization and the declaration both are in the for block. So that's a visibility is within the for block itself.
So in this case,
In this case, yeah.
the while is not going to run because if we put int while it is doing double iteration,
Here,
yes,
if I put int again, it will work.
double iteration.
It will work.
Like if we put int y again, to be declaring it twice.
No, no, it will not be twice. Why? Because let me tell you, earlier y was declared. Okay, if it is outside the block, if block, then of course it's a redeclaration. That will be compilation failure. If this would have been here, Control X within the if block, like here, and now once we are out of this block, this is forgotten. This is forgotten. Its scope and visibility, everything is gone. Now, if I am saying again int y is equal to 0, that means I am redeclaring y as a new variable, as a new bucket itself.
So it's not be very.
It will not fail compilation. It will work. It will work.
So the
You want to check? You want to check? You want to check? Shall I run it? Okay, let's do it. Let's see. Let's see what is the error. नेट नहीं चल रहा है बेटा, रुको, एक मिनट। ओके, आ गया, ठीक है, चलो। है, क्या एरर थी? वो बेसिकली ब्रैकेट्स का इशू था, तो काउंट करके उसको फिर इसीलिए मैंने उस पर डाल दिया था चैट जीपीटी पे कि खुद ही बता दे क्या प्रॉब्लम है इसमें। तो देखो, द आइडिया वाज x is 7 which is declared within the function, right? So I have checked x double equal to 7 in this loop, in this block, right? If block. So x has a visibility from here till here, right? But for y, I have declared y inside the if block. So I told you the visibility of y is within this block from here to here, right? And after that, if I try this thing, y is equal to 0, this declaration get lost as soon as I come out of it, right? Let me just try to execute it again and let's see. Net, so एक टाइम पे नहीं, जितने चाहे फंक्शन डिफाइन करो। जैसे शो हमने करा है ना, वैसे दूसरा फंक्शन भी डिफाइन कर सकते हैं किसी और नाम से। वी कैन डिफाइन एनी अदर फंक्शन आल्सो। पूरे main is a function itself. This is a call to a function, not definition. There could be several functions, I can call all of them. See, what is the error? When I say y is equal to 0 here, y is equal to 0 here, what happens? Y undeclared. Guys, please listen. It says y is undeclared, right? Why? Because the y was declared within this curly braces of the block if block, right? So when the control comes out of the block, y was gone. It's lost. Its scope, its visibility, everything is within this block because it's here. For x, its visibility is still after the block because x is in the scope of the method or the function, right? Correct? But for y, the visibility is within this block from here till here. So if I try to assign a value 0 to y, it will give me an error that will say error y undeclared. First use in this function. ठीक है? It's assuming this is the first use because it is lost. ठीक है? But when I change it to int y is equal to 0, and if I try to execute, it's a separate redefinition of a new variable y altogether. ठीक है? Which has a visibility from here till the end of the function. Now you can see x is equal to 1 is being printed from here, and x is equal to 0 is being printed from this line because y is changed to 0. Got it? So these are, now till now we have seen two kinds of local variable. One is function local variable whose scope or visibility is within the limit of the body of the function, right? Even a narrow scope or a short scope is for a block, like a if block or for block, right? Or a while block, any kind of block, right? So the block also starts with a curly braces and ends with a curly braces. And if we declare any variable, declare means like int x, right? If we declare any variable, then its scope and visibility remains within the block, not after the block, even the function if it continues. Okay? Got the idea? Now there is something called as a global variable. See, if I declared a variable here int g, g stands for global. Just I'm giving any name. You can give any name, right? G is equal to 10, right? So what is going to be the scope of this g? Is it inside a function? Is int g, this declaration, inside a function? No, it's outside every function, right? So that means the visibility or the scope of this g is throughout the program in every function. Okay? That is why we call it a global variable. It is a global variable. Now if I try to print here, let's say, let me just copy it here, Control C, and if I print here uh, g is equal to percentage %t, and here let me print g. What is the output I will get? 10. And let me say I say g plus plus, what will happen? G will increase to 11, and that 11 will reflect to the global scenario, right? And if in the main function where I have called the show function, if I copy this statement and I paste here and then I paste here, what will be the outputs? See, show function is called after this print statement. So the entry will be from main function. Main is the function from where the program starts the execution. So first control will come to the main method, not to the show, right? It will come to the main function. It will print the global variable g, and the value of g is 10. So it must print g is equal to 10. Then show must be called. The control should come here. Here again we are printing g is equal to 10 along with this x value for 0 and 1, right? So this time within the show function, g will be printed as 10 because we have not done anything yet. Then we have incremented g plus plus, g becomes 11. We have come back to the main method, and now if we are printing g again, this change will take into effect and g should print 11. Got it? देख लो एक बार. कहाँ पर? Here? No. Unless I do not say g plus plus again. Now it will be 12. Here g plus plus is there, right? That's why 11 will be printed only after show has done its work and come out. Then this line is going to print 11. Then here also if I put g plus plus, it will become 12. And then 12 will be printed here in next line. Okay, let me just execute it. Let's see. If there is no compilation error, it must run. नेट क्या हुआ? Leave it. Just do it there. ठीक है? Control S, build and run. See the output. Initially G is 7, 10. X is equal to 7 is 1. X is equal to 7 is 0. Then G is 10 again. Then G plus plus happened. In the show function, G becomes 11. Then the controls comes back. It actually this 11 is being printed from the main method. Then in main method we said G plus plus, it becomes 12. Got the idea? ठीक है? कौन सा हटा है बताओ? ये वाला? Okay. This is what you want. Now what should be the output? Tell me. Start looking from the start. G is beyond any function. So it's global. It's a global variable. When G is not declared within a function, it's beyond and outside all the function. It is called global function. So every function can read it and every function can change its value. Okay? Now, when the control will first come to the main function, right? It will come to the main function. Let me do one thing. Let me comment this line, right? For Y, only G is will be printed, right? Correct? Now, when it will come to the main function, I am printing G is equal to percentage G and the value of G. So, what is the value of G as of now? 10. So, पहले print होगा, the first thing that will be printed is G is equal to 10. Correct? Henry? आप लोग clear है? Then show function will be called. It will come to the show function. When it will come to the show function, it will come here. These prints are disabled. It will print G again. Has the value of G changed yet? No. At no methods. Not in show, not in main. So G will be printed again as 10. Then G plus plus happened. G becomes 11. But I'm not going to print this change value in the show function. The show function exits. And the control comes back to the caller. And the caller is main function. It will come to the main function here. Now, when I will say printf G, then 11 will be printed because G++ has been done by show, and global variable can be read and written from any function, and that will be reflected. That's like a common memory, a common bucket, right? So 11 will be printed. Now here, if I have commented this G++ again, then again 11 will be printed. Yes. Here the output was 11, na? G has changed to 11. Now this is commented. If this would have not been in comment, it would have become 12, and 12 would have printed. But you said that I want it to be commented. So the original old value is 11 up till now. Up till now it is 11, right? So 11 should be printed. Let me do it. Correct? Two tens and two elevens. Got the idea? Any questions? All good? Let's move further. So now you know the difference between global variable, function local variable, block local variable, right? You can distinguish between all three, right? The scope means the visibility or the accessibility. Okay? Here I will provide you this note. Here is the difference between global variable and local variables. You can see that. So that is done. Now call by value. Okay. Let me do one thing first. Let me copy this function, this code, and let me go to code block, control A, control V, control S. Look at this code and tell me what is going to be the output of this printf statement. Let me increase size. A will be 20 and B will be 10. So what will happen? Everyone agrees to it? क्या आउटपुट होगा भाई इससे लाइन नंबर 12 का? What is going to be the output of line number 12? Eh? A will be 20 and B will be 10. Initially what A was 10 and what B was 20. Everyone agrees? Shall we run it and verify? Okay. Check it. Check it, check it. Take your time. Correct? All these questions will be asked in interview. Maybe in Viva too. ठीक है? ध्यान से सुनो. Pay attention. I am doing build and run. See the output. What is the output? Swap happened or not? Has swap happened or not? No. A remains 10 and B remains 20? No. Why? Let's understand this. The concept that we are studying is here is pass by value. Pass by value. Now let me make you understand. Let me do one thing. Until now, I was using this run or build and run, right? Basically, the same thing as run, right? I will do one thing. Remember, in one class, I have shown you the flow, how one line is executed, and then second line is executed in the ID, right? That was for Java ID, right? We can do this in here also. Not so strong and profound, but we can do it. So what you have to do is, this will help you to understand the program flow line by line under your control, right? So what I will do is, you see this line, green line, is just click here near to green line. A red bullet will appear. Okay? This red bullet is called as a breakpoint. It is called as a breakpoint. Now when the program will run, the control will come first to the main method. And when it will come to the main method, this is going to be the first line. So it will stop here and wait until you say proceed. And when you say proceed, you can step by step run each line and see the variables, what the variables contains, when this function is called, how the variables are being transferred over here, what then x will contain, when there is a swap, why swap is not happening, everything you can see, just like a white box. As of now, it is a black box, you can't see, right? So what I will do, I will not use this run button, I will use this button, red button. ठीक है, this red button. ठीक है. Okay. What happened? A yellow triangle has appeared over this red button. Can you see that? Right? That means if you see that yellow, red was a breakpoint. So control will come and stop here. Okay? And this yellow triangle arrow is indicating this line has yet not been executed. I need to execute it manually. The control has stopped here. Now I will do two things. I will go to the debug window. Okay? And then you can see there is a debugging window option. Debug menu, debugging window option. Right? Here I will choose two options. One is I will click on watches. This watches, right? A window will appear. Right? This window will appear. This window will appear. Then what I will do is I will click. I will go to the debugging window again, and I will click this time running the call stack. I will call stacks. Another window will appear over here. Just have patience, and let's see what these windows will do. I will just put it anywhere, right? Now, let me, for ease, let me put it on this side, and let me put this here on the opposite side. So here is the program, here is the output window, right? Now, let me bring it here so that it's not so messy. Let me increase the size also. Okay, you can see everything now. See. Now have a look. We are standing here. This line has not been executed. So the value of variable a and b are what? 0, 0. Once this line is executed, a will become 10 and b will become 20. And here, so this is for variables. And here this is called stack. You know what a stack is? This this is one thing. I put on top of it. This is second thing. Okay? So this becomes a stack. So this is a function called stack. So first you have entered to the main function. Main function has come here, right? Main function has come here. So it is telling at main function line number 10. I am at line number 10. See, it is at line number 10, not yet executed. Okay? Remember in that HTML content that I am creating for you, those content also show you the execution line being highlighted and the stack of call for factorial functions. You remember recursive call, all function call one over the other. The same things I have tried to mimic over here with the tool ID. Okay. Now, if I want to run this, I will press F7, function 7 key. If you have got a laptop, you will see there is a function key Fn in the bottom. So you have to press Fn and then F7. Fn and then F7. See, yellow arrow has moved here, right? And see, the value of A and B has changed to 1020 because this line is executed now. This line is executed. Got the idea? Guys, all good? Now I want to get inside this swipe function. So I will not just press function 7, but I will press shift function and 7. Now it will take me inside the swipe function. See here, control has come to the first line. And look here, stack means this is main, this is swap. So here is the main function, here is the swap function. You can see the name, main and swap, right? In swap, x has received 10, y has received 20. Okay? You can see x is 10. Now this is being shown for the function which is highlighted in red, swap function. X is equal to 10, y is equal to 20. This has been received. Okay? In these variables, this x 10 and y 20. This line has not yet executed, so temp is equal to 0. Right? I want to see the previous value of a and b which were in main. I will have to click here. Now a is equal to 20 and b is equal to 20. Getting the idea? Right? I can see what the variables are there in main also. I can see what the variables are there in swap also. What are their values? But then I have to click that particular function on the stack. Right? Fine. Now let's move to one line. Function f7. This line is executed. Temp becomes x. Temp becomes x. X was 10, so temp becomes 10. ठीक है? Correct? Guys, okay? Now let's move further. One line. X is equal to y. What was the value of y? 20. So x is also become 20. This line is executed. Copy it. Now you must be surprised why it is not printing here. Right? Why it is not printing here? Because just look at the main function. A is 10, B is 20. Are the values of A and B changed? No. That means when you pass the value of A and B in the swap function and they are being received in X and Y, when the control enters the swap function, it's not that the A and B are physically being sent. A and B are separate boxes. I copy the value of A and pass the Xerox copy to X. I copy the value of Y and pass the Xerox copy of to Y. Now even if I swap those Xerox copies, the original copies will remain intact. The original copies will not change. This is called as pass by value. When I pass some value from one function to the other function, the values are being passed as a copy of the value, not the bucket itself. Right? So what will happen? If I come to the swap again and let's move again, what happens to y? See, y is changed to 10 this time. In the main, a is 10 and b is 20. And x is received at 10, y is received 20. But after swap, x becomes 20, y becomes 10. But a still remains 10 and 20. A and b remains 10 and 20 in the main function. Got the idea? If I would have wished, I could have print in the swap function itself the value of x and y. Then I would have got the swap value. But I have not done that, right? So the control, when it moves from here back to the swap here, it has not done anything here. Nothing is being returned. So when it comes to the swap again, the values x and y, because these are method local variables. These parameter variables are also method local variables, yeah, function local variables. They are lost. Once they are lost, I do not have the value of x and y. However, this function contains a and b, right? And I am printing a and b, not x and y, right? Even I cannot print x and y here, right? So when I proceed further, F7, the control is coming here. This is not executed, so nothing you can see printed over here. Now when I say Fn plus F7, you can see A is equal to 10, B is equal to 20, original values are being printed. Right? If I proceed further, return 0, control ends, the code ends. Okay? Got? Got the idea? Okay? So what we call it? Pass by value. Right? Correct? Now let's go to our code first. Now let me start from the beginning. You got to tell me pass value or call by value rather. ठीक है? In call by value, a function receives a copy of the actual argument. The function swap function receives the copy of the actual argument which was passed as a. It's a copy, not the a. So the changes made inside the function do not affect the original values. That is, a and b are the original values. So x and y, if they are changed, a and b will remain unaffected in the calling function. Calling function was main function. This is the default argument passing behavior of C for ordinary variable. So this is the default behavior. That means there must be some other behavior also, right? If this is the default behavior, there must be some other behavior. We will see that behavior also soon. ठीक है? ये समझ में आ गया? Henry, got this? So the key idea is the function parameter gets separate copy of the value and they work on the copy. Any modification is local to that function, like within the swap function. The original variable in main remains unchanged. Okay, because we have just passed by value, just like a copy, a Xerox photocopy, right? It's like I am working on some content, okay, some notes for you guys, okay, and I have given a Xerox copy of that notes to say Aman, right? And I say review it for any grammatical error and bring it back to me. So when he will change the things and bring it to back to me, so the error will, that the changes that he has done will be in his copy. My original copy will remain intact because I have given him a copy of it. That is what pass by value means. Okay? So be aware of such kind of misleading swap functions that say that it is swapping and indeed it is not swapping. Okay? They are tricky questions. Soon you will be used to it. Now look at this function. Again, I am giving a name change that says it is meant to change something, right? So the control will come to the main function. Int a is equal to 5. I have declared a is equal to 5, right? I am passing that value of a to change. So whether I am passing as a copy or I am passing the a, I am passing the copy of a or I am passing the a itself, copy of a. So the copy of a means I am passing just the value 5 as a copy, and that value 5 is received in x. A will remain intact with 5 value, and here what I have done, x is equal to x plus 10. I have changed the value of x to 15. Now this change is within the change function, and if I print inside the function percentage %dx, what will be printed? 15 will be printed because I am still inside the function and I am printing the x. So if x was initially 5, x become 15 here, x plus 10, and 15 is printed. But when this line is printed and then I come back to the calling position at change a, that x is gone. The effect of that printing is in the console, that will be displayed, right? Then if I print again, print after function call, if I print a, what will I get print as output? 5. Got it? चला के दिखा देते हैं एक बार. Yeah, tell me. एक मिनट. हाँ आप बोलो. Tell me. Here or here? Here. Original value 5 will be printed.
But instead of a, if we write change, not replace the change of line number 10, we comment it and we write it directly comment, right? Change again in the 11th line. Will it give us any error?
Okay, I will show you. First, let me run this. ठीक है? Let me run this. Just verify that whatever we have discussed so far is same or not. So let me stop it. Stop the thread. Build, build and run. See the output inside function 15 after function call 5. Now what you want is you are saying if I replace change a here, right?
Commit then
Say
commit the line which is in the then
comment which line
line of line.
here.
Yes.
No issues. Tell me what will happen. Tell me what will happen. Guess. What should happen, guys? Tell me. What he has said is a valid thing. So whatever this change is replaced by the effect of change. Is there any effect of change? Change has a return type of void. It's not returning anything. When it is not returning anything, then what will happen here? It should be a compilation error. Let's see. I hope so. See, invalid use of void expression because this is void, and here you are expecting some value to be placed. Not possible. We can do this thing. We can just say return type as int, right? And then inside this, let me not do this. Let's say return x. Now it should be valid. Now it should be valid. Now it should be valid, right? Correct? Got it? Because change is called and x is being returned. So now that value x15 is returned. So this is replaced by 15. A is still 5. If I say again here, let me say this, A, A will remain 5. Correct? ठीक है? Now tell me one thing. Let's comment this line as of now. ठीक है? Let me do this. Now what is going to the output? Eh? A will? A will? A will not be 5 anymore. So what will be the output here? Inside function? Answer should be 15. Is it correct? What should be printed here? Let's say inside function main.
So let me just have a moment.
Eh?
Let me have a moment just
You can think. Tell me the output, guys.
since it is a all by value, you just take the copies, not the actual addresses. And keep
Just think. A copy of A, that means the value of A, has come to X. A remains 5 here. X becomes 5. X becomes 15 here in line number 4. Then I am returning X. This whole thing will be returned by 15. And 15 is reassigned to the same bucket A. So like A was earlier holding 5, but that 5 is overwritten by 15. If I print this, what I will get? 15.
this behind the return statement.
We have a return statement, right? So if I have overwritten it, that is a different story. Still it is passed by value. But what I am doing is I am returning the value and overwriting upon the original value. So the original bucket is written with a new value this time. Okay. Now if I run it, I will get 15. ठीक है?
Had we been using the void statement, it would have done.
If
Had we been using the void instead of print,
you are saying this, right?
void yes, to cancel the return statement.
Then I cannot put return. Otherwise, it will be a compilation error. If I do not put return, x will become 15, right? Is something is expected out of change? No. And I'm trying to assign it. Let's see. Control S. Build. What will happen? Tell me. Compilation error. What you are not supposed to do, you should not do. If you are trying to assign something to A, then change must return something. But change has promised that it is not going to return anything. So that's a violation of the rule itself. So the compiler will catch it and report it. ठीक है?
If we declare A,
Eh?
if we declare again A, it will still give us
Again int.
the 11th line.
What?
In A.
That will be a duplicate variable declaration. I cannot do that. Both the variable will be same scope, right? So duplicate. This will also not happen. Error. Redefinition of A. Cannot do that. In one scope, you cannot redefine. Right? This is also not possible. Got it? Okay. Let's move further. So when I say this pass by value is the default behavior, there is something else, right? And that something is else is called as call by reference. Okay, this was call by value, this is call by reference. Okay? So call by reference is like earlier I have given a copy of my notes to Aman, the Xerox copy, and asked him to make the grammatical error, correct the grammatical error. So he whatever he did in his copy. Now let me have the copy and I have passed the copy to you. What your name? Adam. Adam has got the copy, and I am saying, Aman, see, Aman, I have given my content to Adam. Just go there and make any correction in grammatical error if there. Okay? So
Copy or the original.
I have given the original to him. Original to him, for example. Original is lying with him. Whether I am giving or it's lying here or here, whatever. I am asking you, do the changes on that one. I am referring to the original one. I am referring to the original one. So when he will go to the original one where I have referred, and if he makes changes over there, what will happen? It will change. But then I will have to tell the address that you have to go to the Adam, go to the student Adam. So that is the address. If I want to call with a reference so that if you change anything, the change should happen in the original copy, then I must also provide the address where that original thing is located, right? And here the address means the memory location. In terms of programming and memory, RAM, it means the memory location. So if I want that the original copy must also be changed, then I will use the technique of call by reference. In that case, I must give the address of the variable itself, right? So that with that reference, any changes happen to the original location and should not be in a separate copy. And when I go back and check it, I will see the changes. Got the idea? बात समझ में आई भाई? Okay. So C does not support true call by reference. There is some reason for it, because object-oriented programming languages like C++, Java, they are actually use true call by reference, but equivalent. It's an equivalent kind of thing that can be mimicked. Equivalent behavior is achieved by passing the address. Okay, address. Okay. This allows the function to modify the original variable from the calling function. Now listen very carefully. The things that we are going to study are simple but yet complicated and confusing. Complicated because they are confusing. Okay? See this code. the same code that we have just seen, right? You will see some star, you will see some ampersand. ठीक है. Now the control will come to the main function first. ठीक है, ध्यान से देखिए भाई. A is declared to hold the value 5. Now the bucket is A. A must be somewhere in the memory, physical memory, and it must be having some address. Now that address is typically defined in a hexadecimal format, not an integer format, not in a floating point format, in a hexadecimal format. What is a hexadecimal number? Hexadecimal number system. What is a decimal number system? 0 to 0 to 9. That is decimal number system. 0 to 9 is 10 numbers, right? Those are the foundation. You can write 10 using 1 0, 11, 1 1 and so on. So that is decimal number system. Hexadecimal number system means 0 to 9 plus A, B, C, D, E, F, 6 numbers. So this together forms hexadecimal number system, right? Correct? So the address is always stored in a hexadecimal number system. So when I pass, instead of A, if I pass ampersand A, that means I am passing the address of A to Aman, of that document which is lying with Adam. I am passing the address of Adam to Aman. Okay, because he holds the document, right? Right? And when it comes here, then the variable that will receive the address cannot be this, because X is meant to be of integer type, but we want to store the address. So the variables which store the address are called as pointer variables. So along with int means it is going to store the address of some variable which is integer, but because it is going not to store the value directly but the address, so this is a pointer variable. X is a pointer variable. Now this address can be stored in X. So whenever I say A, I am talking about 5. Whenever I say ampersand A, I am talking about some hexadecimal address where A is equal to 5. That 5 value is stored in memory, in physical memory. And when I am talking about star of X, that means X stores address of A, that hexadecimal value, right? But when I will say star of X, or I will do any computation of star of X, then I mean to say, because this X is a pointer to the address, so star of X here in the computation, it means that I am dereferencing the address. That means I am going back to the address, and star of X means actual value at that address, which is 5. Okay? When you see ampersand A, you know that I am talking about an address which is in hexadecimal. When you say star of X, you know that although X is a pointer variable which is storing the address of the variable A in hexadecimal, but star of X means not the address but the value inside that address. So star of X is equal to star of X plus 10, matlab the value 5 plus 10 is 15, that is stored again to the value of X, and this X contains the address. So the value that is changed now, 15, that is being changed in the address, and that address is of A. So the 5 is directly changed to 15. Now if I print after function call, if I print A, the address location has been changed physically by the value 15, and then I will get 15. Got the idea? So this is the address, right? This is a variable which is of type pointer, which is storing the address. And when I say in any computation star of X after that, then that means I am talking about the value directly at that address. ठीक है? Clear हो गया? Let me run it. To show it, what I will do is I will go with the कहाँ गया red button, this red button, debug option. ठीक है? let me put here. What is this called? Red button, red line, button, red circle, break point. ठीक है? Control will come and break here. ठीक है? I can put break point anywhere. If it is here and not here, then it will execute these two lines and come directly here. Right? So I am putting at the first line so that I want to see the behavior right from the first line. Right? Now what I will do is when I run it, ठीक है, it will ask me to change the perspective. I will say yes. ठीक है, this yellow arrow has come, that means this line has not yet executed. I will go here, debugging window. I will open watches first. ठीक है, I will go to debug again, debugging window. I will open call stack. ठीक है, then for the ease of visibility I will push it to 1 and this command prompt to the other side of window, right? And where that these two things, they are here, right? Now see here, this line has not been executed. What is the value of a? Only main function is there, right? I mean in the main function, line number 9 not executed, so a is equal to 0. Function plus f7, this line executed, a becomes 5, right? Now I want to get inside this change function. I do not want to skip it. So I will say shift function F7. The control will come here. What happened? Stack has activated. Main goes down. Change function comes on the top of it, right? And see what is the value in x. Here also and here also. The value of x. This x. Only x, not star x. X. X is a pointer variable which is going to store the address. It's a hexadecimal address, 0x5FFE8C. It's the address of the memory location, right? And if you know the address of this memory location, you can keep on doing +1 +1 +1 +1 and you can reach anywhere that may not even be the memory used by this program, maybe used by some Windows thread or some other program. And if you try to change its value, that will be overwritten, and that is how you can create a malware. That is how you can create a malware, because it will disturb or destroy the values stored for some other program, and that program will misbehave. Correct? Got the idea? That is why a pointer is a dangerous thing. And when we teach Java, we tell them that you cannot use pointers as a developer. You do not have the flexibility to send address and receive it in a pointer variable. So no question of navigating beyond what you are supposed to. So you cannot make a malware in that case. So we say Java is a more robust language. More robust. One of the reason of there could be several reasons. One of the reason is that it does not allow you to use pointer, but you can do everything whatever you require without pointer. ठीक है? Pointer is storing the address, and when you get the hold of the address of the actual memory location, you can keep on incrementing to pass on to the next location, right? And that next location, see, the location for x is this. Now I do not have any other variable, so the location, next location plus 1, if you go for it, it could be something else, right? That could be used by some other program, maybe may not be. And if it is using, and if you change its value, then that application will misbehave, right? Right? Getting the idea? What about main function? A is still 5. If you click on the main function, you will see the variables of main function. A is still 5. What about change function? You can see x has got the address. Okay, let's proceed. Fn F7. This line is executed. Okay, did you see any change in x? Did you see any change in x? No, it is holding the address. Address of what? Address of A, which is in main. So let's go to the main. Did you change? See the change value 15? 15 in A has been changed. While we were still in uh, the change function, right? Correct? Let's say fn plus f7. This value is printed inside x. Star of x is being printed, right? Not x, star of x. I can print x also, but there has to be something done for it. So star of x means the value of the address that x is holding. 15 is printed, right? Fn plus f7. I come to the main function. In the main function, this a was initially 5. Now, because it was a call by reference, this must have also changed by 15. So here also I should get 15 when I try to print a. Fn plus f7, 15, right? Got Henry? Any doubts? Even in while examination, if you are getting any doubts, you can come to me, point out the exact lecture time, this hour, this second, this minute, and show me and ask me any questions. Okay? Just you have to pre-confirm the time because I will be in examination everywhere. So you should not wait and I will not be bothered. Okay? So you can always, you are welcome, you can come. You can just, what you can do is just WhatsApp me for the time when I am free. I will give the time, you can come. If you are coming for some other exam and you want to ask something, you can come and ask. Okay? Okay. Now, this is again the swap version of the program with pointers. So actually swap will happen with this version. I'm not going to teach it again because you know the address of x and y we are passing, right? They are received as pointers within A and B. Then these star of A and star of B are being swapped. So that means x and y will be swapped, and then you will get the swapped value as 20 and 10. Okay? So I'm not going to show it because of the limitation of the time. Now passing array to the function, just look at this small function. In the main function, I have declared an array, right? How do I call this display function which takes an array and the size of the array n? I just pass the variable a, and here it will be received in ARR with the size of 4. Index value 0 to 3. Size is 4. That is n is 4, right? And within it, this is what? I is global variable, function local variable, or block local variable. Block local. It's declared within the int for, right? So after this for this body, it will not be visible. It is within the block itself. So it is block local. Okay. So I is equal to 0. I is less than n. 0 to 3. That means I plus plus. I am printing the value of array, that is 10, 20, 30, 40. Simple program, right? We have seen it several times. Let's proceed further. Now, now tell me what happens here. Let me copy this code. Guys, you are here with all breakfast done, right? You have done your breakfast in the morning, right? Because it is going to stretch a little more. Look at this program. the main function, I have declared an array, right? I am passing it to a function increase. What I am passing? Array A and the size 4, right? So the increase function, what it takes, the same function that we have just seen, array, this whole array, and size 4. Then inside the for loop, what I am doing is, instead of printing the value of array, I am changing each array element with plus 5. So 1 should become what? 6. 2 should become 7. 3 should become 8. 4 should become 9. And then I am coming back to the main function here, and then I am starting another loop and printing the value of I again. So tell me whether this is call by value or call by reference, because depending on that funda, I will say that whether 1, 2, 3, 4 will be printed or 5, 6, 7, 8 will be printed. This seems to be like call by value. Let's try it. This seems to be like call by value, right? We have not used ampersand, right? We have not used address, right? Let's build it and let's see. What happened? 6, 7, 8, 9. That means it's not actually call by value, it's call by reference. Now let me tell you the justification for it. What happens when you are passing an array? Array is not a simple primitive variable like int, float, double. It's something which collect a number of values, and when that collects number of values, then a is something which is pointing to the collection, right? And if there are four numbers, but in one bucket there are four buckets, divided buckets, right? So this a is pointing to the first bucket itself, which is holding 1. So when I just say a, actually I am passing the address of the first element of the array. And because array elements are stored in the memory in a contiguous way, sequential way, then what happened? If a, here it is the address of the first element, then a of I plus 1 is going to reach to the address of the second element. It's contiguous, right? Correct? So that is why this is not a call by value, but this is a call by reference. So passing a means you are passing the address of the first element of the array. And when you get the first address of the array, rest all the elements are in a contiguous location in the memory. So you can traverse and you can change the values. So if you are passing array, remember it's not called by value, it's called by reference. याद रहेगा? That is why you got the output 6, 7, 8, 9 and not 1, 2, 3, 4. ठीक है? This was called by reference. I am not using ampersand, but I need not to, because when I say a, actually I am that a is holding the address of the first element of the array, and rest elements are falling in a contiguous way. So with an increment of index, I can reach to every element. ठीक है? And the original location will be changed with the new value. ठीक है? Got it? There is lot to understand, but I am giving you the most important ones which are usually asked in exams. If you practice this much, you may go beyond any limit, but this will help you a lot. Key concepts are captured over here. So again, a review: pointer. A pointer is a variable that stores the address of another variable, right? A pointer in C is a variable that stores the address of another variable. Pointers are central to dynamic memory use. Arrays, like I said, the first element, if you just pass a, that is the first element, that's the address. Function arguments, low level memory access in C, ampersand A gives the address of A. P can store the address provided you are putting star of P while you are declaring in the parameter. And when you use in computation, then star P access the value stored at that address. Star P is equal to star P plus 10. So the actual value, if it is 5, then 5 plus 10, 15 will be allocated in the original address. Okay? Got it? Now look at this small program. See, A is 10, int star of P, that is P is a pointer that is going to store the address. It is holding the address of 10. So if I say star of P, actually I am talking about 10. If I say just A, I am talking about 10. Right? Correct?
Star of P address.
Eh?
Star of P address on.
Here in this line, it means star means P is a pointer variable meant to store an address. Okay? But when I will try to use star of P in computation or in printing, that will mean actually the value at that address. ठीक है तो दोनों मतलब आपको समझना है दिस द ट्रू मीनिंग राइट करेक्ट see this line printf value of a percentage d a what will be printed 10 second line address of now here what it is a percent a refers to address I cannot just say a percent address I will have to convert to some representation that indicates it's an address and the thing that I am going to print here is a pointer holding address. I am casting it to a pointer. Casting, changing to a pointer. Right? Casting means changing. Okay? And this P means, D means digit or number. This P means pointer. So here the address will be printed in a hexadecimal form. Okay? I am not printing star of P. I am just printing P. P is holding the address. Right? What if I print P as a pointer, then actually value should be printed. Okay? Star of P means again value should be printed. No. Here the address should be printed because P will store the address, right? Just like ampersand A. I'm replacing it with P. P holds ampersand A. So this is 10. These both are same addresses, and this is 10 again. Okay? See, A is 10, address of A, the same hexadecimal number, value stored in P, P is storing the address of A, simple P, not star P, same address, right? Value at address P, that is star of P, that is 10. Got it? ठीक है थोड़ा confusing है it's a little confusing but you will have to listen to the recording twice or thrice and you will be remembering the
There is some other address for star of P.
what
For the P star.
I cannot put star of P here.
What I'm saying,
If it is star of P, that means I am printing the value, and that has to be printed in the numeric form, right? So percentage D will be used because here percentage P is used, no? So I cannot put star P here. It will be compilation error.
I'm saying we have printed the value of P, but we haven't printed the address of P.
Okay. You want to print the address of even P. One is the address of A. You want to print the address of P. If honestly, if I start telling here, everyone is going to be confused and mad at me, right? Do one thing. Just copy this program, put into ChatGPT, say just like we are printing the address of A in hexadecimal, I want to print the address of the pointer variable P in hexadecimal. Give me that program. I will give you. Try and test it. Okay. Now things are easy to explore and run also. Okay. That is going to be really confusing. So I am not going to because this is the last class I have to wind up. I'm not going to do that. Okay. Okay. Otherwise, your Henry is going to beat you outside. He will say It's very confusing. So then let's move further. You just try this, okay? I will give you the notes. You try this. See this program. A is 10, 20, 30, 40. Star of P is equal to A. Why I did not put ampersand A?
Because it's an array.
Because in array, A itself represents the address of the first element. And rest elements are contiguous, right? So it's the address only. So I will directly put it to star P. Now I am printing star P. What will be printed? 10, right? I am printing P plus 1. I said if you know the memory location, you can keep on adding plus 1 and can move on to the next location. And this next location is what? It's our array value 10, 20, 30, 40. P plus 1 means 20. P plus 2 means I'm adding to the address, hexadecimal address. 2 means 30. Let me say P plus,
So adding to the address or adding to the numbers?
I am incrementing address by 1 next location and getting the value out of it, and that is what is being printed. Let me say 3 3. Let me copy this, take it there. V S. Let me run it. See what I am getting is 10, 20, 30, 40, right? Now 40 was the last element, 3 was the last index. Now tell me, what if I seriously want some trouble and I do this? What should happen now? 10, 20, 30, 40 is all right? What will be after that? That is what is a malware, right? I am trying to go beyond the range of the array. This array is for my program. Beyond it may be something else. I don't know what is stored there. Okay?
It's a garbage.
It could be a garbage value, it could be a real value also that is being held by some other program. I don't know. Okay? Let it build and run. Zero has come, right? What if if I want to change this value? Let's see. I have not printed that, right? So I will not know. Okay. If I change it, let's say I am copying it back again and I am printing it back again, right? Now it should be the right thing to do. I have changed that value from 0 to 10. That does not belong to my program, right? And I can keep on moving for an infinite loop like this and keep on changing those values. Everything will corrupt. If I start an infinite loop and I keep on doing this, everything will corrupt. Instead of P plus 4, I will use P plus I. That's it. Okay?
Sir,
Now this is not meant to, do something wrong. This is just for the concept. Okay, yeah.
sir, here in the array there was no size mentioned in the square bracket. Suppose we add some
Size is not mentioned because we are doing an inline initialization. I told you in previous class, if I do an inline initialization in the same line, the compiler knows there are 4 elements, the size is 4. I do not have to actually provide the size. Okay?
So just if we add some restriction, if we add 4 in the square bracket, so then this time we will get the 10 value. The one last
4 is the size, right? The address will be 0 to 3 itself. Let's see. I don't know if it is allowed or not in this. It will allow, but here you will get the same output. Why are you expecting a different value? Okay? This is a different thing that if I said 5 years, then that value will be our value. And I can also do it a of 4, which is the fifth value, is equal to 5 this time. Now, this is our control. This is in our control. This time, actually. And if I try to build and run, you will see 5 first and then change to 10. Right? But this is our value now. Yeah, this is our value now. Okay? Then you try this at your home. Try all this. Okay? There is something called as structures. Very important. Structures. Guys, please listen. There is something called as structures and there is also something called as union. I am not going to teach union because of the time limit. I will give the notes. But once you understand structure, possibly you will be able to understand union. See, int, float, double, char, boolean, everything is what? Primitive. They are already defined in every language, right? But what if I need a data structure for a student record? So student record maybe at the minimal may contain the name of this, right? With at least 50 characters, right? The roll number, which may be stored in an integer value, right? And maybe a marks. So marks could be 65.5. That could be a floating point value. So I need 3 primitive variable under one name. Okay? So what I do, I will create a name of the structure student, and the keyword I will use is struct. So this is now a user defined data type. This is not a primitive data type. This is a user defined data type. I am defining this data type by using other user defined data type or primitive data type. Both could be done. Okay? So here in this case, I am defining this user defined data type student using the keyword struct. Struct means structure. Okay? That is further using 3 primitive data types. So it will hold a name of 50 characters, a roll number that will fit in an integer, 32-bit size, and a marks that will be a floating point marks. Okay? Now look at this program. So once that is done, that will start with the curly braces, and with curly braces semicolon should be there. Now inside the main program, what I will do, I am declaring a variable like int x, not int x now. The type is struct student. Both will be used. Student type, derived from what kind of condition? From the struct. Okay? Student is a derived data type just like integer, and it is derived using struct. So I will write struct student and then the variable name s1, just like int x. So x ki jagah you have got s1. In place of x you have got s1. Okay? So s1 is the variable name. Student is the derived user data type that contains 3 things: name, roll number, and marks. And this user defined data type has been created using structure. Structure. Okay? Keyword is struct. Now this function is string copy, strcpy, short form. This function copies the string to a variable. So the string is what? under double quotes Amit. This is being copied to S1 dot name. Now I will use dot. S1 dot name, S1 dot role, S1 dot marks. So dot S1 is the variable name, and the elements inside it, name, they are further variables, role, further variables, marks, further variables. I will pass this whole notes to you. So these all are referred by dot operator now. This is dot operator. Dot operator. S1 dot name is equal to op. I mean, I am using string copy to copy it to it, right? S1 dot role is equal to 101. S1 dot marks is equal to 85.5 because this marks is floating point number. Then I am printing it. Okay? This will work. Let me just show you. Okay. For string copy, you must use string.h. Okay? This string copy function is in string.h, I believe. I think in code blocks, probably you need not to use it. Without string copy or without string also, you must be in a position to do it. Just try it and figure it out. So whatever I have assigned, that should be printed. Amit, roll number and marks. ठीक है भाई? Now let's move to the second part of the program. Instead of assigning hard values, I have used scanf function to read those values from the keyboard. Okay, and assign and print. Just look at this program. Same structure, nothing changed. Same variable S1. You will print a message enter name as a prompt so that user can enter after seeing this message. S1 dot name. So that value once scanned should be placed into S1 variable के name में, in name variable of S1. And what is this? Percentage 49. The size was what? Size for name character array was what? 50. So I am using to store just 49 characters. Yes. यार क्लास में क्यों ला रहे हो यार? ठीक है. So I'm using 49. That means out of those 50 places reserved for name, I am allowed to use only 49. You should not enter any name beyond 49 characters. Why? Because the last 50th character is going to store something like this, a character something like this, which indicates the end of is the array. Okay? So automatically 50 will be stored by this. So just to make sure I am not doing a mistake, I am just using 49s. So this is formatting. Okay? Enter role. See, I am passing S1 dot role. Here I am passing the address. Why not here address? Because name was what? Name was the array. So array already, name means the first element, the address of the first element, right? So I do not need to pass address here. Here ampersand. But here I need to pass the address, right? For role. Here I need to pass the address for marks. Then the same string details are being printed as a string for the character array, as number for role, as 2 decimal precision floating point number for marks. Let me run it. Run. Enter name Imran, roll number 1, marks 70. ठीक है? Got it? Now this is the user defined data type. ठीक है? And int, float, all these are called as primitive data type. Okay. Array of structures. We can have array of character, we have just seen. We have array of new integers, array of float. If I have to store the details of all this class, then I will need a collection. That collection could be an array, right? So first I will create a structure, student, same. Then I will create, instead of S1, I will create S under bracket 3. Now this, guys, please be silent, remain silent. पीछे वाले अभी बुला के पूछूंगा, तो अगर आप बात करेंगे यू आर इन डेंजर जोन, ठीक है? चुप रहेंगे तो यू आर एटलीस्ट सेफ, ठीक है? So what does here it means? S is a array of size 3, at least 3 student, I can say it 100 also, ठीक है? Of user defined type student which is made using structure, ठीक है? Now this is a array of structure, right? Now to store so many values, I have used a loop. Printf enter the detail of the students I plus 1. I 0 means 0 plus 1 means first student. Name, it will print name and I will enter name just like in the earlier. Then role, I will enter role. Here address will be passed. Similarly marks, and marks will be taken. And this loop will continue for 0, 1, 2 less than 3 for all 3 students. Then I will print again those details again by making another loop of 3, ठीक है? चला के देख ले एक बार. ये सारे आपको नोट्स दे रहा हूँ मैं, यू विल गेट द नोट्स, राइट? यू कैन ट्राई ऑल दिस, ठीक है? लेट मी जस्ट रन इट. So it's a array of structure. So I have created the array size of 3. So I will need to print, I will need to give the data of 3 students, ठीक है? Suppose Shah is the name of first student, roll number 1, marks 70, ठीक है? Imran is the name of second student, roll number 2, marks 80. Alam is the name of third student, roll number 3, marks 33. He failed. Okay. Now student detail is printed. Correct? Done. ठीक है? Let's move further. So this is the program of using structure to find the highest marks. You just go through it on your own. Now one last thing which is important, I think it is the last thing, yeah, it is the last thing, last topic, and that last topic is important because it's about reading and writing text or values from or to a file, writing to a file or reading from a file, right? So C file handling uses a file pointer. C file, file capital letter, file pointer. So sp is a variable which is a pointer, star, file pointer. C file handling using file pointers, right? And standard library functions such as open, fopen, fprint. Instead of printf, we have fprintf. Fgets, fscanf, like scanf, we have got fscanf, file scanf, file printf, fgets, file get, ठीक है? And so on. fclose, ठीक है? All these functions are used. And the modes are there. W means I want to write to the file. R means I want to read to the file. A means append. If I say W, that will check for the file. If the file exists, it will overwrite the file and write whatever you ask write to it, right? If the file does not exist, it will create a new file, empty file, and write on it. But it will erase the whole thing. A means append. Append means open the file, right? And then whatever the content is there, do not disturb it. Append after that, add after that. Okay, got the idea? Now let me just copy this program. Let me go here, paste. Read this program and let's understand. Inside the main, this file file captor I have to use. Remember, it's in capital. Okay. FP is a file handle that is used to store the address of the file when it comes to the memory. And because it is you're going to use the address handle, it is going to be a pointer of the file type. Okay? If this would have been integer means pointer to the integer type. This is a pointer to the file type. Now this is a buff means buffer. If I want to read, I must have a space to read at least 100 characters. Okay? So I am creating a character array of 100. Okay? So that I can read something of 100 characters. A name could be a large size, full name, for example. fp, this is file pointer, is equal to, I'm calling the function fopen, file open the file. Which file? The file data.txt. And remember, this data.txt should be in the same folder where this program is stored. Otherwise, you have to give the full path. C drive // the folder name // where this data.txt is stored. Okay? Here it means no path means it's in the same folder where the program is running. Okay? I am opening it in write mode. That means I want to write something to this data.txt. If fp is equal to null, somehow I am not able to open it. So fp will be null. In that case, I will get the error printed, cannot open file for writing, and return 1, control will return from the program. Program will close. Otherwise, if it is not null, I will not use printf, but I will use fprintf, file printf. Print in the file. What to print? Hello C. Print hello C in the file which is referred by fp. So this will go into that file. Which file? Data.txt. Okay? And remember, as per the rule, W means we are opening in the write mode. If the file exists, it will open the file, erase all the content, start writing from beginning. If the file does not exist, it will create a new file at that location and then open. Okay? That will write hello.c, and if I open a file, then I must close that file also, because you have seen sometime that you are trying to delete a file and your Windows says that file is already opened by some other program. Maybe you must have opened in Word file or text file. So you cannot delete. If you do not close, you cannot do anything from the operating system about that file. You want to delete it, you cannot delete it. Right? So you must release the resource. Once you have written, just leave it. Okay? Release it. So fclose means I am closing the file. Anyone else can use it now. That is not under a lock. Okay? Then what you say, I want to now read that and print also. Okay? Again, I am opening that file. Data.txt, but in the read mode now. Okay? And if it is opened, that is fp is not equal to null, then only what I will say, f gets from the file 100 characters, and that will be stored in a buffer array of characters. Buff is the array of characters, right? Remember, here what is buff? It's a character array, right? So 100 characters will be read and stored. You can increase it to a million also, if you like.
There is no file.
No. In read, the file should exist. If it is not there, it will print this, because fp is equal to null. For writing, you can create. For reading, you must have existing file. That's why then only you can read, right? That's logical. Then I have closed the file after reading. Now, because the content is already stored in the buffer, transferred to the buffer, I am printing content from the file is buff. This means address of the first character. So, percentage s means it will print till the end of the array. Okay? Let me run it. Build and run. Content from the file is C. Hello C. Now you want to see where this file is? Go to the project workspace. I have made project workspace in your folder itself. What was the name of the project? Let me say demo btech AI batch. Let's go there. Is there anything demo btech AI batch? Here it is, right? I am going here. See data.txt. If I open from here, I will see hello.c. ठीक है. Let me do one thing. Let me go again to the program, and instead of writing hello.c, let's say hello b tech AI students, you are tired. I know that. Okay. So let me run it. Build and run. See, this is printing here. Let's go to the file. Let's go to the file and open it. Correct. So if you are working in application, you need to use file system. You can use that. Okay. Now, suppose what I want to do is, here I have opened the file for writing, right? Let me just delete that file. Let me just delete that file. On. Now what I said, write mode means if it doesn't find the file, it will open a new file, right? It will create a new file. It will create a new file. It will print into the file and close the file. Now even before opening the file, let me say I am calling a function get care. Sorry. Okay. So before going for opening the file for reading, it will wait for a character, right? For me to press, right? As of now, this file is not there. Data.txt is not there, right? Let me run it. Build, build and run. What happened? Nothing is happening. Why? Because it has written. It has closed the file. It is waiting for get character, right? Let's see whether the file has been created or not. Here the file data.txt has come. It has got the value. Now what I am going to do is, even before opening it for reading, I am deleting this file. Okay? Now what I am doing here is, I am pressing a character. Now what happened? Cannot open file for reading. Why? Tell me. Because it came to the here. F open data.txt in the read mode. It did not find the file, although it has created. But even before coming to this point, I have deleted it. So what it is saying is fp is equal to null, which is true. It has printed cannot open the file for reading. Okay, so this condition also I have tested. Okay, got it? Similarly, I have got one or two more programs here for file storing, like storing the student record, the same structure that I have created. I will use that to read and store in the file so that the whole student record is stored. Read integers from the file and compute the sum. Some file contains some integers, I want to compute the sum. This program is for that. So you can go through all this and work on it. There are some programs here for assignment. You can go with it as a practice. Okay. So with this, let me just stop the recording first.